All right, so now I want to talk a little bit about how you can keep your Drive folder organized, because if you're going to use this for all of your storage needs, you're probably going to end up with a fair amount of files in there at some point if you don't have a bunch already. So the best way to do that is to organize with folders. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. Now that you have the Google Drive app installed, you can create folders through your browser, again using Chrome ideally, or you can do it actually on your computer because it's synced back and forth between the two. So first, going to your browser, if you're in Google Drive just like you normally are, the way to create a folder is to go to the New button and you're going to select Folder. So it's pretty straightforward. And then you're going to give your folder a name. So I'm just going to call this New Folder. Call it whatever makes sense for you. Now it's added this new folder. Okay, so right now if I double click on that, you'll notice there's nothing in there. So I can do a few things. I can upload files in here, or maybe I already have a bunch of files in my Google Drive and I want to put them in here. So what I like to do is I like to go to my Drive. And you'll notice I already have a lot of folders created in here, but I'm going to scroll down to some of these that are not in folders yet. So for example, maybe I want to take this file and I want to move it to that new folder I created. I can do that one of two ways. I can either click here, and then I'm actually going to do, depending on your mouse, you can either do a right click or a control click. You can also access it up here with these three little dots as well. They do the exact same thing. So once you click here, you're going to click Move To. Once you do that, you'll see any folders that you've created. They'll all show up in this list right here. And I'm going to scroll down until I find the one that I'm looking for. Now I'm looking for the one I created that's called New Folder. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click Move. You'll notice down here it says that it's been moved to that new folder. And if I go back up here, I scroll up and I find that new folder, double click, there it is in the folder. I'm going to show you another way that you can move files and folders around. If you go to this little drop down arrow, triangle I guess it is, next to the My Drive option over here on the left, it will expand this out and it will show you all the folders that you have in here. Now you'll notice anytime you see this little triangle, that means that there's another folder inside of that folder. So if you open that folder, you'll see an additional folder pop out there as well. You can create folders inside folders, and sometimes that can actually be really helpful. So what I do sometimes is I scroll down in my main list here, I look for that file. Now I moved this one back out so I could show you the second option. So here's this same file that I moved back out to my Drive. Now I want to show you another way to move it into that same folder. Instead of doing the little three dots or the control click option, I can actually just open my folder option here on the left and I can simply drag and drop it into the folder that I want. And you'll notice that it's there. I can then click on my new folder and there it is. So those are the two easiest ways to move files and folders around in the browser. Now you don't necessarily have to move all of your files and folders around in the browser. You can actually do it on your computer, which for those of you who are not super comfortable with Drive yet, this may be a more comfortable option. So again, you want to be able to open your Google Drive folder, and again you can go up here with the top menu option if you would like to. That's one of your choices. And you're going to open your Google Drive folder. Now this should look pretty familiar if you've been saving on your computer. It's got all your files and folders, again matching whatever is in your Google Drive currently. If I need to make a new folder, I can make a new folder in here just like I make a new folder anywhere else on my computer. I can go up to my File menu and I can click New Folder. Now I'm going to call this one my really new folder. And of course mine are alphabetized so it jumps into position. So here's my really new folder. If I want to move something into my really new folder, I simply drag and drop just like I would on any other part of my computer. Now the really neat thing is if I go to my Google Drive and I visit my Google Drive on the web, you'll notice that if I scroll through my list of folders, my really new folder is already here waiting for me. I can double click on it and there's that that item that I drug in there on my computer, but it's synced and is showing up on my Google Drive. Now, keep in mind that sometimes, depending on your connection and depending on what's going on your computer, the sync may not happen instantaneously. It may take a couple of seconds, maybe even a couple of minutes, but they should show up pretty quickly so that you should be able to see both of those back and forth. So again, you can add files and folders on your browser and drag things back and forth, and those changes will show up on your computer, and you can make those changes on your computer folder back here, and those changes will be reflected on the browser as well. So again, it's synced back and forth, which is the whole point. So that means all of your files and folders are backed up, and you shouldn't have to worry about losing anything. Like I said, the only time you may look like you haven't kept something is if it's hasn't synced for a couple of minutes or something like that. But again, that lag time is pretty rare. So if you do notice that you're having a problem with that, you'll have to let the tech department know. But you'll notice over here in my folder, you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit, you can see these little check marks. That shows you that those things have been synced. So you may occasionally see like a spinning arrow or something here. That will show you that that item is being synced, that it hasn't been synced online yet. So you can check there as well. But that is how you create files and folders, and you can organize your Google Drive so that you can find what you need.